In Mark chapter 1, we read that Jesus returns from the wilderness after 40 grueling days and hears that John the Baptist has been arrested. Already the gospel is off to a tricky and risky start. Immediately Jesus goes to Galilee and calls his first disciples. "Follow me," he says, "and I will make you fish for people," to these fishermen in their boats. Now, here we assume that Jesus is calling these men to that traditional missionary role of, you could say, making other people like us. Or, to use that more religious word, doing some evangelism. Some might say a recruitment drive. Well, you might find it surprising and even shocking to find out that the role of fisherman biblically is not about that or about adding to our numbers. In the book of Amos in the Old Testament, the hooking of a fish is a euphemism for the judgement of the rich. And in the book of Jeremiah, it is about the conviction of the people of Israel. Well, that's quite different, isn't it? This wasn't an invitation to get people to believe in Jesus. This was an invitation to common folk to join in Jesus' struggle to overturn the existing order of power and privilege. This was a call away from the security of economic opulence for the few, for the sake of the greater good of the many. It is then no wonder in this week's reading that when Jesus teaches in the synagogue, his message of liberation and inclusion provoked both amazement and also a violent verbal reaction. The angry man shouted, "I know who you are, the Holy One of God. You have come to destroy us." Well, he was dead right on both accounts. Jesus silenced him, and that resistance was broken. Here, the demonic isn't just spiritual, it's economic. So being a fisherman, a fisher person in a biblical context, is more than asking people to consider becoming Christians. It is a call to ask people to follow Jesus' radical, scary, justice-ridden agenda. What is our part in his great mission? Well, it'll be much easier if it was just a spiritual mission. All about the heart, the inner life, spirituality, which it is about, but not just that. To be a fisher person in that wider biblical sense is also very political, which we will find out as we read through Mark's Gospel this year. Yesterday, COVID deaths in Britain topped 100,000. This is really grim. But it's even more grim if you live in poverty, and in some areas, the death rate from COVID is up to 2.5 times the national average. Jesus saw injustice in his day and it had a terrible toll. And there is injustice in our day, and too, there's a terrible toll to it. Well, we are called to join up. And if we shout and resist, as sometimes people in churches do shout and resist, we might find that the Lord silences us as well. It's all a bit uncomfortable, isn't it? Well, as we read through Mark's Gospel, sometimes it won't get a lot better. Sorry, I've gone over my 4 minutes. I'll try to do better tomorrow or next week. Thanks.